Michigan fans, Michigan women's hockey is live and on the air. We are live at Yost Ice Arena, where it is a huge matchup between your Michigan women's hockey team versus the Adrian Bulldogs. Michigan comes in ranked number 6th in the ACHA rankings. The Bulldogs are number 2. So this is a big matchup for Michigan. They can maybe gain some ground in the top 10 and really try and pay back the Bulldogs for a 3-1 win by Adrian at Arlington Ice Arena in the second game of the season for Michigan. First game of the season for the Bulldogs. Michigan is a different team. They have grown as a team, and this is their chance to prove it. Now, the Bulldogs obviously have other plans on the other side. They'd like to show that they just continue getting better and better as they lead the CCWHA, especially the East Pod, in points and in ranking. Take a look, Michigan is 16-3-2. They have a, 9-game unbeaten streak. They had a tie 4 games ago, that at Arizona State, but they've won the last 3 and 9 unbeaten. So their first loss was to Adrian. They ended up tying Michigan State all the way back on October 1st. They did lose to Adrian at Arlington Ice Arena. That was a tight 3-1 game. Michigan did play well, but they lost. That was back on October 2nd, but it's been a long season since then. They had a nice winning streak, beating Lake Superior State a couple times, beating University of Utah and Indiana Tech before their second loss to Indiana Tech down in Indiana. Then they had another nice win streak, beating Lake Superior State again twice here at Yost, beating Montana State and Utah before dropping their third loss. That was out to University of Massachusetts, ranked in the top 10 at the time. That was a 4-1 loss, as that was the last game in a 3-game trip out to the Beehive in Salt Lake City. They then came back and visited University of Michigan Dearborn, had a big overtime win there, then hosted University of Michigan Dearborn, beat them 5-1 here. They had an overtime win versus Concordia of Ann Arbor, and then finished off the calendar year of 2022 by beating University of Rhode Island 5-2 here at Yost. They then opened up the calendar year with a trip out to Arizona. Really wish we could have come with the team, but just couldn't finagle the time off of work. But Michigan beat Grand Canyon 7-1. Then they tied the University of Arizona, or Arizona State University. They tied them 3-3 over at Oceanside Ice Arena before beating them 2-1 in the final game of the 3-game weekend. Then last weekend, Penn State came into town. Michigan beat Penn State the first night 7-0, and then beat them on last Sunday 6-1. Taking a look at that game, it was Penn State scoring first as Bove scored at the 13:05 mark in the first from Pisano and Bars. That was Bove's fourth goal. Then Swanson equaled it up at 14:32, so less than 30 seconds later, Swanson got her 9th goal. Lindahl with her first assist. Then Lindahl put Michigan in the lead, the game-winning goal, her 13th goal of the season. Malashevsky on the assist, added 17:31 in the first. No penalties in the first. In the second, Rubin scored at 7:41, her 4th goal of the season. Proctor and Gargiulo on the assist, then at 12:54, it was Katie German scoring her 6th goal of the season. Lindahl again chipping in with an assist on that one. So this is going to be a 4-point evening for Lindahl. Just amazing there. Lindahl then scored with 33 seconds in the third. Oh, there was one penalty to McCarthy for hooking in the second. That at 17:59. So again, Lindahl scored her 14th goal of this season with 33 seconds into the third. Swanson on the assist. Swanson had a very good game as well with a goal and an assist. Then Evans capped off the game at 6:31 in the third. Malashevsky with her 2nd assist of the game. So big 4-point game for Lindahl as she continues to impress. Ware played between the pipes for Penn State, faced 75 shots on goal. Michigan really peppered Ware the entire weekend. She saved 69 out of 75 shots on goal. Ponnet faced 22 shots on goal and saved 21 of them. Your top point getters for the Maize in Blue, 20 points for Lindahl now. The freshman continuing to exceed expectations with 14 goals and 6 assists. Swanson in the number 2 spot with 15 goals, that on 9 goals, or 15 points on 9 goals and 6 assists. Then 4 people tied at third. Get 3 and 4 mixed up there. Anyway, 4 people tied at third, as with 13 points is Evans with 7 goals and 6 assists. Gargiulo has 13 points with 6 goals and 7 assists. Katie German has 13 points with 6 goals and 7 assists. And Rubin has 4 goals and 9 assists for 13 points. Taking a look at the goalkeeper statistics, Bonnet has won should be 16 games. For some reason it says 15 here. 16 games, 3 losses, 2 ties, 1.47 goals against average, and just an outstanding, fantastic 9.50 save percentage for Ponnet. Taking a look at the number 2, Adrian Bulldogs. They're 18-4 on the season. They've had 4 losses, and 3 of them came in a row as they opened up with a 8-game win streak, beating Michigan, then Concordia, Midland, Concordia again, Midland again, Miami, Davenport, and Adrian. They fell to Liberty twice, that back on November 11th. Liberty, the number 1 ranked team in the nation. That was all at Arrington Ice Arena. Liberty won the first game 6-5 and the second game 4-0. Then they lost their first game versus Indiana Tech. That at Arrington Ice Arena, and on November 19th, Indiana Tech won that one 3-0. Then Adrian went down to Fort Wayne and beat Indiana Tech the next game to start off a 6-game win streak, as should be 18-5 now. Sorry. Just realizing I can't do some math. As they beat Miami, they beat Penn State twice, they beat Michigan State twice, 1 home, 1 away. Then their next loss came to Minot University as they were out in North Dakota. Minot won 2-1 in the first game on Friday, January 6th. On the 7th, Minot lost as Adrian beat them 3-2. They then had 4 wins in a row, they beat Minot, they beat Jamestown over in North Dakota, they beat University of Michigan Dearborn, they beat Marysville in the first game of 2, that on Friday the 27th they won. Then yesterday they lost a game at Arrington Ice Arena versus Maryville University. That was a 3-2 loss for Adrian. So 18-5 on the season. as we'll take a look at that game versus Maryville here, as it was a goal by Maryville, is O'Leary scored her 9th goal of the season. That at the 8:04 mark. O'Brien on the assist, 2 penalties. McGowan took an assist for penalty for checking, and Gertz took a penalty for interference at 19:13. Then Adrian scored as Stitt tied it up at 1 apiece on the power play, her 16th goal of the season from Shaw and Robinson. But that was at the 22nd mark in the second. Then at 4:39, Poisson scored her 11th goal of this season as Pillehammer with the assist, as that put it 2-1 Maryville. Then Adrian came back, tied it up again as Eagleson scored her 8th goal of the season. That at the 13:47 mark. Shaw and Greggett on the assist. That made it 2-2. And then with 16:45 in the third, Brooks scored for Maryville, the game-winning goal from Johnson and Poisson, as the penalties were in the third at 2:52. Patterson went off for tripping at 9 minutes even score. Shaw went off unsportsmanlike conduct, player-to-player minor. Then it was Shaw going off also at the 9-minute mark for interference. Then McNair went off at 9:42. It was Caldrain on the win, facing 31 shots on goal for Marysville, saving 29 of them. Barr was the goalkeeper of note for Adrian, played 58 minutes, 14 seconds. They pulled the bar in the last minute and 46, if I can do some basic math. She faced 23 shots on goal and saved 20 of them. Top goal scorers for Adrian. Stitt, number 11, has 38 points on 15 goals and 23 assists. Number 2 with 30 points is McCurl. She has 10 goals and 20 assists. 2 people tied at number 3. Wiltshire has 27 points on 9 goals and 18 assists. And Shaw with 27 points on 5 goals and 22 assists. Then McDonald rounds out the top 5 as she has 7 goals and 18 assists. That's your top goal scorers, or top point getters for Adrian. On the keeper's side, it's Schneider, who was getting warmed up earlier. She's played 13 games, 10 wins, 3 losses, 1.62 goals against average, and a 929 save percentage. That's the top of all keepers for Adrian. Playing 4 games is Barr. She has 1.26 goals against average, a 923 save percentage. Hunt has played a game, won a game, 833 save percentage with the 2 goals against average. And then Burton has played 5 games, 2.04 goals against average, and an 892 save percentage. As we have a couple power play statistics that I'll try and talk about when we have the power play, as the team's coming out, lining up, getting ready for our starting lineup and the national anthem. Again, huge matchup. As let's take a look as people are coming up. Next 5 games for the Wolverines. Adrian today, then February 4th, Michigan will be at Griff's Georgetown at 2 o'clock. On February 5th, they will be hosting Grand Valley State. That's 3 Sundays in a row. After this, Grand Valley at 3:30 on next Sunday. Then on the Sunday after that, the 12th, they host Concordia of Ann Arbor here at Yost Ice Arena. Then on February 19th, they host Michigan State. Now for the starting lineups coming out for Adrian. And right wing is Robinson. And coming also out is Eagleson. Turnbull starting, as well as Miranda and McNair. And then between the pipes is Burt, starting for Adrian. Now for Michigan, the starting lineups. Lindo, leading point scorer for Michigan, comes out to the blue line. Malashevsky comes out to the blue line for Michigan, starting. Swanson comes out to the blue line, starting for Michigan. Forehand comes out for Michigan. and Levinson, your other starting blue liner. And between the pipes, it's Poneth, top goalkeeper in the nation. And now, ladies and gentlemen, to honor America, the playing of the national anthem.
Move from their hats to the singing of the national anthem by University of Michigan student Pelagia.
Fantastic job. They announced the singer. I couldn't quite hear, but a fantastic job as always, and we are very, very grateful for the stunning rendition of the national anthem. Let's put up the ACHA Women's D1 rankings. As you see, Liberty up at number 1. They were number 1 last week. Adrian's checking into number 2 here. The record was a little behind. That was what it was when they got the rankings. They were number 2 last week. Minot State checks in at number 3. They bumped up from number 5 last week. Midland at number 4, as they were number 3 last week. Indiana Tech checks in at number 5, bouncing down 1 spot. Then Michigan staying steady at number 6. And McKendree at 7. Miami at 8. Marysville at 9, team that Adrian just played, and Arizona State, the last team Michigan did not win against. They had to draw versus Arizona State, checking in at number 11. We'll talk about the CCWHA standings coming up. We ran into Sue McDonald in the parking lot, commissioner of the CCWHA, and we are excited to be able to bring you those playoffs, and saw Sue collecting the trophy from Adrian, who won last season. That puck comes back into the Adrian zone, as that'll be stopped by Burt. And Michigan will have a face-off in the Adrian end. 19:54 left to go. Here in the first period, face-off to the right of Burt Malashevsky, taking the face-off. They have fired right back behind the goal. Coming around with it is Miranda in the far corner, sweeps it to McNair underneath the near circle. Turnbull fires it ahead down the near boards into the neutral zone. Forehand has it at her own blue line, backhanding it ahead. Fired back deep by Turnbull into the near corner. Levinson has it back behind her own goal as Adrian goes for a line change. Levinson fires it down the far boards of the neutral zone and banked into the Michigan zone in along the near board. Shaw trying to provide pressure. Michigan fires it all the way down the ice. Racing in to get it is Simmer, but not before it's an icing. Had to go back into the Michigan zone. 19:20 left to go here in the first. Face-off is going to be DePonitz right in the near face-off circle. We invited a special guest for a intermission interview. We'll see if that happens. Keep our fingers crossed. May not. Shaw with a shot that just goes wide all the way back to the far point as Gregan holds it in there. Knocked out into the neutral zone by Michigan. Collected and sent by Shaw in along the near boards. Adrian gains his zone as Wiltshire gets it back in a shot and a save as McCarroll took the shot top of the near circle. Poneth with the save. 19:03 left to go here in the first. Scoreless so far. Face-off opponents right in the near face-off circle. Matthews versus McDonald. In to take the face-off. That comes back to the near point. Goodwin with a shot that goes wide to the near side. Evans gathers it up outside of the far circle and lifts it all the way down to Simmer. Simmer gains the zone. Poke checked away from her as Horney trying to get it out of the zone. Battle for it comes outside the far circle. Horney takes it into the far corner. Fires it ahead. Adrian controls in their own zone. Stitt gets it to center. Stitt, leading point getter for the Bulldogs. That fired back behind by Proctor. Gathered up by Izzy German underneath the far circle. Izzy German feeding it ahead. That deflected away from Matthews. Now trying to come in with it. Pichet had it. Gets it back to the far point. That slips out as Miranda couldn't quite corral it in, as the Bulldogs have to touch up. Izzy German has it in her own zone, ricochets it off the near boards, trying to send it ahead. Now that fired by Colwich down the ice. Miranda grabs it into the near corner. Miranda goes back behind her own goal, lifts it underneath the near circle as the Bulldogs fire it all the way down the ice. And it should be icing. Well, apparently not. And there it is. There's the whistle. And it's wanted to make me question myself there for a second, as that'll come back down into the Bulldog zone. Scoreless so far, 17:57 left to go here in the first. We're very, very grateful for you watching wherever you are at. Appreciate everyone in the building as well. Face-off in the near face-off circle. Pichet won that one. Miranda gets it over into the far corner from McNair. McNair moves it ahead. Adrian lifts it into the neutral zone for Stitt. Stitt gains the zone, top of the near circle. Stitt with the shot. That went off of a skate. Now coming the other direction. Here comes Lindahl. She knocks it off of the near boards, but it's fired right back in by Shaw into the Michigan zone. Katie German chasing it. Now that grabbed back behind. Trying to pull that away into the far corner. As the puck gathered up. Forehand has it back behind. Pinned against the boards. Trying to pull that away. There's a whistle. Hand raised as we're going to have a cross-check penalty at 17-17. As into the box goes Wood, as Michigan will have the power play as a penalty to Adrian in the first for cross-checking. By the way, I'm assuming number 5 is forehand because I don't have a number 5 on my Michigan roster. And outside the near circle, Matthews trying to send it. Then it comes back to the near point. Michigan able to hold it in there as Katie German sends outside the near circle. That fired all the way down the ice. 1 minute 45 seconds left to go. Here in the penalty kill to Adrian. Power play for Michigan. That comes back to the near point. Swanson knocks it away as dangerous opportunity for Adrian. Now Michigan gathers it up in their own zone. Rubin fires it down the far boards as Matthews gains the zone. Matthews just outside the far circle. That fired all the way back into the Michigan zone. So 1 minute 15 seconds left to go in the Michigan power play. Adrian has it into the near corner as McDonald. Now that pulled away. Here comes Michigan down the near boards as Matthews gets over center ice. Matthews gains the zone using her body to protect the puck against Wiltshire as it comes into the near corner. And lifted high into the neutral zone by Adrian as Levinson will chase it in her own zone. Coming down the far boards. Here comes Gargiulo. Gargiulo spins trying to avoid pressure by Adrian. Gargiulo now racing down in front of her own bench. Gargiulo gains the zone. Gargiulo, top of the far circle. Gargiulo coming in. Shot. That knocked away as didn't quite get all the way to Burt. Now Levinson trying to fire it outside the far circle. That drifts into the far corner. Proctor trying to pull that away from Gregan. Gregan feeds it right back behind her goal coming down the near side. That fired all the way back. 25 seconds left to go in the Michigan power play. Levinson grabs it back behind her own goal. Feeds it around the near boards, trying to avoid Pichet. Proctor has it there. Proctor trying to get it over to Evans. That puck gathered up by Malashevsky down the far boards. Malashevsky gets it out of the zone. That fired right back in by Pichet, back behind the Michigan goal. 5 seconds left to go in the Michigan power play. Adrian has played very, very well on defense so far as Goodwin picks it up back in her own zone, feeds it down the far boards. Then that's sent all the way down the ice. And picked up by Izzy German back behind her own goal. Gets it over. Coming ahead with it is that pulled back away coming ahead with it was Goldman as that fired in. Backhanded shot by Matthews into the near corner. Pull that. Eagleson has it outside the near circle. Izzy German trying to hold it in with a good poke check, but that brought out by Eagleson for Adrian. Over center. Eagleson, high slot. Shot there. Glove. Save by Ponith. 14:40 left to go here in the first. Still scoreless so far. At Yost Ice Arena, face-off is going to be in the far face-off circle. That is to Gargiulo in to take the face-off. Wiltshire on the other side. McNair has it in the high slot with a shot, goes wide just to the far side. Rubin trying to get to it. Miranda with a shot. It goes, deflects outside the near circle. Gathered up by Katie German, held in at the near point by McNair as that deflects off of Gargiulo into the far corner. Trying to bring it ahead. Rubin pinned outside the far circle. Now chips it back into the neutral zone. McNair retreats to her own blue line. McNair sends it ahead. Here comes Adrian gaining the zone. Over to McDonald outside the near circle. Now Miranda at the near point. Feeds it into the near corner for McDonald. McDonald underneath the near circle. Now comes outside the near circle. Back to Miranda at the near point. Miranda, high slot shot as that goes into the far corner. Good job by Ponith. I'm not even sure she saw that one coming. Here comes Gargiulo over her own blue line. Gargiulo over center ice. Gargiulo backhands it deep into the Adrian zone. Michigan goes for a line change as that's gathered up by Werner and ends up going right to the Adrian goal as Burt covers it up. 13:40 left to go here in the first. Scoreless so far between the number 2 Adrian Bulldogs and your number 6 ranked Michigan Wolverines. Malashevsky in to take the face-off. Pichet on the other side in the near face-off circle. That to Burt's left. And puck in along the near boards. Lindahl trying to fire it deep. That pulled out into the neutral zone along the near boards. Here comes Pichet into the Michigan zone. Feeds it high slot. Getting it over to Peterson into the far corner. Peterson back behind the Michigan goal. Trying to fire it that off of the side of the goal and covered up by Ponith. 13:20 left to go here in the first. 0-0 is our score live from Yost Ice Arena. If you're in town, still have time to come on down. We'd love to see as many folks in the crowd. We have a nice crowd beneath us. Face off in the near face-off circle. Pichet wins that back to Shaw at the near point. Shaw makes a move, putting it top of the near circle. Here comes Michigan. Simmer gets it out into the neutral zone. Shaw recovers, taking it back just shy of her own blue line. Drops it back. Now that fired ahead. Loose puck in along the near boards. As Pichet fires it in before going for a line change. McCarthy into the near corner. Feeds it over to Simmer. Simmer trying to avoid pressure by Wood. That pulled in. Robinson had it tipped away. Great defensive play by Matthews. That puck sitting right in front of the scorer's bench on the near boards. Brought into the Michigan zone. McCarthy trying to get it out of the zone. There's a shot top of the far circle by Robinson. Now here comes Michigan down the near boards. Racing ahead with it is Evans into the Adrian zone. Evans puts it right back behind Burt into the far corner, trying to get it away from Goodwin. Right back behind the goal. Werner brings it underneath the far circle. Drop pass over to Goodwin. Now on the near boards, Wood trying to get to it. That puck outside the near circle. Izzy German chipping it. Now Gargiulo puts it right back behind the goal. Goodwin coming up the far boards. Eagleson trying to fire it ahead. Gargiulo holds it in at the far point. Now Rubin chases it into the far corner. Horny trying to knock that away from Rubin. Rubin into the near corner of the Adrian zone. Rubin outside the near circle. That puck comes all the way back to Proctor in the far corner. Proctor outside of the far circle in the Adrian zone. Over to Izzy German, top of the near circle. That went off of Goodwin's skates outside the near circle. Proctor trying to poke that away. Now Gargiulo banging away at it. That back to the blue line, held in. Proctor backhands it, but here comes Adrian down the near boards. Eagleson has it. That knocked away by Michigan, but gathered up. Bringing it ahead is McCurl. McCurl gets it into the slot. Shot by Wiltshire. That one deflected right through the crease. Was a centering pass. Held in at the far point by McDonald. Michigan has it outside the far circle as Colwich trying to get it out of the zone. Now, good job by Swanson to get it out of the zone, but fired right back in by Adrian. Here comes Michigan down the far boards. McCurl fires it ahead to McDonald, who puts it top of the far circle in the Michigan zone. Right back to center ice. Now backhanded deep by McNair. as Izzy German picks it up into the near corner, fires it all the way around the ice. Swanson outside the far circle. That fired to the blue line, but held in by Miranda. Now Michigan, Kolwich gets it over to Lindahl down the near boards. Lindahl over center ice. She's poked off of the puck, but sweeps it deep into the Adrian zone. 10:47 left to go here in the first. Scoreless so far. Miranda into the far corner. Swanson trying to pull that away. Miranda bringing it ahead down the far board. Simmer knocks that right back in along the M boards. McNair feeds it to Turnbull. Held in by Katie German at the near point. Trying to fire it back deep and pulled by Pichet. Fired right back into the Adrian zone. Sent ahead. Evans intercepts it at her own blue line. Gets it ahead to Matthews, who fires it deep into the Adrian zone. 10:19 left to go here in the first. The puck into the near corner. Scoreless so far as Matthews gets it back to Katie German at the near point. Katie German ricochets it into the near corner. Matthews trying to pull it away, battling a pair of Bulldogs. That comes into the far corner for Shaw. Shaw lifts it all the way down the ice as that'll go into the far corner as the puck dies before it could be icing. Stick with heavy pressure. Katie German into the near corner trying to pull it out of the zone. Now Eagleson has it into the near corner of the Michigan zone. Eagleson backhanded shot. Good save by Ponith. That puck back to the near point to Shaw. Shaw comes high, slot for Adrian. Now moves it top of the far circle. That shot there. Save by Ponith. As that was Werner with a shot from the top of the far circle. Ponith able to see it and glove it down. 9:35 left to go here in the first. Scoreless so far between Michigan and Adrian. Battle between number 2 and number 6 as that puck into the far corner. Now bringing it and loose on the near circle. Bringing it ahead is Proctor. Proctor gets it out into the neutral zone. Shaw feeds it down the far boards and brought right back in to the far corner by Wood. That moved into the near corner for Levinson. Levinson ahead to Proctor, held in by Shaw at the near point. Shaw puts it into the far corner. Wood chasing it there. Forehand, knocks it away. Now here comes Rubin. Rubin over along the near boards to Proctor. Proctor fires it deep into the Adrian zone. Gathered up by Horny. Horny bringing it ahead. Banks it off of the near boards. That puck backhanded right at center ice. Chasing it. Swanson trying to get it into the Adrian zone. Lindahl tips it in as that brought in along the far boards is Wiltshire. Put a cross ice pass. McCurl has that knocked away by forehand. Bouncing puck into the far corner. Here comes Levinson. Levinson trying to tip that away. McDonald sends it right back behind. Great job by Malashevsky to knock the puck away on a centering attempt. Now Malashevsky outside the far circle gets that to Swanson. Lindahl at center ice wouldn't settle down for her. And here comes Adrian firing it back deep is Wiltshire. Goes right back behind Ponith into the far corner. Levinson lifts it ahead. That deflects right at the Michigan blue line. Now over and along the near boards. Peterson fires it back deep. Pichet backhanding it right out in front. That sticked out into the far corner. Held in by McDonald, top of the far circle, or Miranda, excuse me. That puck, Miranda, trying to fire it deep. Now here comes Malashevsky over her own blue line. Malashevsky gets it deep into the Adrian zone. 7:52 left to go here in the first. Scoreless so far. We appreciate you joining us live from Yost Ice Arena. The puck at the blue line. Evans gets it high slot. Evans with a shot. And that glove down and saved by Burt. 7:40 left to go here in this. The first period, scoreless so far. And by the way, it is confirmed the University of Michigan president, Santa Ono, is in attendance for today's game down below. We really appreciate him joining and watching and cheering for the University of Michigan women's hockey team. That puck sticked outside the near circle, trying to bring it ahead is Simmer. In along the end boards, Izzy German has it. Izzy German comes down the far boards, gets it back out into the neutral zone. Evans trying to get to it. Izzy German, top of the far circle now. Feeds it over to Simmer along the near board. Simmer brings it, fires it deep into the Adrian zone as she goes for a line change. Shaw picks it up back behind the goal, coming down the far boards. That puck out into the neutral zone. Michigan trying to bring it right back in. Rubin chasing it into the far corner, battling Peterson there. Now Shaw trying to chip it ahead. Excuse me, that was Eagleson coming in. Proctor makes a nifty move. Proctor has her stick lifted and puts it in, but no goal. No goal. They say it was kicked in. They say it was kicked in with a skate, and if it was a kicking motion, it does not count as a goal. If the skate is steady and it deflects, it's a goal, but if there's any sort of kicking motion, they wave it off. Well, Michigan with the first really close opportunity. 6:43 left to go here in the first. That comes out into the face-off circle outside of the Adrian zone, right in front of the Bulldog bench. As McDonald puts the face-off in along the near boards. That fired ahead by Goodwin as Katie German lifts it ahead to Lindahl. Lindahl over center ice. Lindahl trying to fire it deep and right at the blue line. Adrian controls and moved over by Jackson. Fired ahead. McCarroll gets it. McCarroll into the Michigan zone. There's a shot by Wilshire and a save by Ponith. 6:20 left to go here in this, the first period. Scoreless so far here at Yost Ice Arena. Face-off in the near face-off circle as one back to McNair at the near point. Shot deflects in along the far boards. Here comes Evans. Evans feeds it ahead. Intercepted, trying to get it to Simmer. That put right in along the near boards. Now lifted ahead by Goldman. Back into the Adrian zone. Adrian gathers it up at their own blue line as Werner heads down the far boards. Sends it deep. Back behind the Michigan goal. Stitt with it there. Stitt trying to peel it off of the end boards. Stitt underneath the near circle. That fired. Centering attempt by Pichet. Now coming down the far boards. Here comes Michigan. Simmer over center ice. Simmer fires it deep. And going right into the near corner. Burt trying to fire it along the far boards. That gathered up by Peterson. Peterson sends it. Here comes Pichet over center ice, gaining the Michigan zone. Over to Stitt, top of the near circle. Shot and save. Loose puck. Trying to get on top of it is Ponith, and that comes all the way back out into the neutral zone. Good job by Ponith and great job by the defense to knock that out of harm's way. The puck outside the far circle. Michigan moves it over to Katie German down the near boards. Katie German over center ice. Katie German backhands it deep as that goes right back behind the Adrian goal into the far corner. The puck held in at the far point by Michigan. Now grabbing it, Gargiulo back behind the goal. Goodwin chases it into the near corner. That puck, Stitt fires it ahead as that goes over center. Robinson has it chipped away. Great job by Kolwich to knock it away as the puck comes into the near corner. Proctor outside the near circle, trying to get it out of the zone. Proctor battling in along the end boards, pulling it away is Turnbull right into the slot. That knocked away by Michigan. Rubin fires it over to Proctor down the near boards. Proctor trying to make a move, gets it, top of the near circle, but Goodwin feeds it the other direction. The puck high up in the air, bouncing puck. Turnbull trying to get to it. Here comes Swanson the other direction down the far boards. Swanson feeds it deep. That tipped off of a Bulldog skate as Goodwin trying to get it out of the zone. Now Lindahl chasing it into the far corner. Malashevsky trying to pick that up. Here comes Adrian as they get it ahead to McCurl. McCurl gains the Michigan zone. McCurl has that tipped away into the near corner. McDonald trying to get it there. 4:04 left to go here in the first. Scoreless so far. And McNair moves it, top of the far circle. McDonald with a shot, save by Ponith. The puck into the far corner, trying to pull that away. That tipped into the far corner and then rifled all the way back, held in at the far point as that puck comes into the near corner. Now bringing it ahead. Here comes Katie German. Katie German moves it ahead to Lindahl and along the near board. She gets tied up there, fired deep by Katie German. As Michigan gets a line change in. 3:30 left to go here in the first. Scoreless so far as Adrian fires ahead over their blue line. Stitt has it right at center ice. That gathered up by Peterson, who comes into the Michigan zone. Peterson into the near corner, trying to backhand it. That goes off the back of the net. Pichet gets it, top of the far circle for Gregan. Oh, that deflects, and Ponith got a piece of it into the near corner. Simmer trying to knock that away. Loose underneath the near circle. Matthews gets it. Matthews coming down the far boards. Matthews gets it into the neutral zone. Gregan fires it right back into the Michigan zone as Adrian gets a line change. 2:55 left to go here in the first. Bringing it ahead. Here comes Michigan as Levinson gets it, fires it deep. And stopped by Burt right back behind her own goal. Now Gregan gets it into the near corner for Shaw. That brought ahead. Here comes Eagleson into the Michigan zone. Great job by forehand to tip the stick and a save by Ponith. Oh, forehand with a fantastic job to lift the stick. As we're going to need to see somebody not on my roster is wearing number 5. As that puck in the slot, bringing it away. Here comes Michigan down the near boards. Rubin fires it back deep. Is Horny into the near corner, but not before it is icing. 2:20 left to go here in the first. Scoreless so far. Face-off to Ponitz right in the near face-off circle. Gargiulo in to take the face-off. McDonald on the other side. As the puck loose, McCurrow into the near corner, back to the near point. Held in by Goodwin, knocked away. Great job as Proctor gets it all the way back into the Adrian zone. McDonald has it on the near circle of her own zone, backhands it down the far boards. That lifted to center ice. Here comes McCurrow. McCurrow into the Michigan zone. Kolwich knocking that away loose. Chipped by Gargiulo. Here comes Lindahl down the far boards. Lindahl trying to get back behind the defense. Lindahl outside the far circle. Adrian's defense quickly on top of her. They have it pinned against the far boards. Trying to poke it away, levering it. A quartet battling on that far boards is Malashevsky trying to dig it away. That comes to Levinson with a shot into the near corner. And picked up. Adrian fires it to center ice. Izzy German trying to chip it away. Wiltshire trying to get to it. Katie German knocks it down, and that into the far corner. Izzy German gathers it up there, trying to feed it ahead. And loose. Katie German slides it over, trying to get it over to Lindahl. Knocked down by Shaw. And now that sent into the far corner. High slot for Gregan with a shot. That got deflected. Nice job by Lindahl to get it all the way back out into the neutral zone. As number 5, by the way, McCalling, who just joined the team. I'll do my best to bring that out. 1 minute left to go here in the first. The puck right back behind the goal. McCalling has it into the far corner. Freshman who just joined the team as that brought ahead. Here comes Evans. Evans trying to get a cross-ice pass. That got knocked down by Stitt right to the Michigan blue line. 43 seconds left to go as McCalling trying to fire it through the neutral zone, now coming in. Here comes Eagleson. Eagleson with a backhanded shot that goes back behind the Michigan goal. Wood with a shot off the side of the net. Now Simmer battling in along the far boards. Horny knocks it away, but here comes a penalty as a hooking call at 27 seconds left. 27.2, hooking. That is a penalty to Adrian going into the box, as that is Robinson into the box for hooking. Michigan with their second power play of the game. Michigan on their power play is 9.2%. They have 9 power play goals out of 98 attempts. The puck into the far corner. Proctor trying to dig it out of that far corner. Now Gargiulo has it. Gargiulo underneath the far circle. Gargiulo back behind the goal. Gargiulo into the near corner. Scoreless with 10 seconds left to go. Michigan on the power play. That puck all the way back. Levinson has it at her own blue line. Levinson trying to avoid pressure by McCurrow. 2 seconds left. 1 second left. And that will do it for the end of the first period. So going into the second, Michigan will have a 1 minute 33 second power play, but it is scoreless as a back and forth period. Adrian carried the puck a little bit more than Michigan, but Michigan doing a good job to battle this number 2 Adrian Bulldog team. Well, we're going to play a little bit of the victors, and we will be right back. We'll keep our fingers crossed that we may have someone come up and do an interview in the first intermission or second. We may not. But keep your eyes on that. Let's play a little bit of the victors, and we'll have our intermission scoreboard report. as this is the first intermission, and it's time for an intermission scoreboard report. As all the way back on Sunday the 22nd, it was Lake Superior State beating Aquinas 8-1. Grand Canyon University shut out the Air Force Academy 6-0. Grand Canyon University beat Colorado University 4-1. We know about Michigan beating Penn State. It was McHenry University beating Rhode Island by a score of 5-1. Nothing on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, as we had a nice, wonderful snowstorm out here. Couple games on Thursday, as it was Liberty beating Minot State, that at Liberty 4-1, and it was Maryville falling to Midland. Midland beat Maryville 2-1, that over at the Maryville University Hockey Center over in Chesterfield, Montana. Taking a look at Friday's scores on Friday, it was University of Utah shutting out Colorado 3-0. Colorado State beat Wyoming by a score of 13-0. It was Midland beating Lindenwood University 4-1. Liberty shut out Minot State for the sweep 4-0. And it was Grand Valley State shutting out Davenport 9-0. Adrian College beat Marysville 5-2. It was Arizona State beating University of Minnesota 4-1. It ended up in a 2-2 tie in overtime between Miami and University of Michigan Dearborn, that down in Oxford. Midland University shut out McHenry 2-0. It was University of Massachusetts Amherst shutting out Rhode Island 7-0. Concordia of Ann Arbor beat Lake Superior State by a score of 3-2. That up in Sault Ste. Marie. Scores for yesterday. University of Utah beat Colorado 5-1. No score reported between Grand Canyon, Minnesota, or Grand Valley State and Davenport. It was a final. Michigan State shutting out Penn State 5-0. Indiana Tech beat Aquinas by a score of 6-1. Colorado State shut out University of Wyoming 10-0. It was Minot State beating Liberty in a big game there 4-3. That down in Lynchburg, Virginia. Adrian College fell to Marysville. We talked about that earlier in detail. Midland and McHenry ended up knotted up at 2 apiece at the end of overtime. And over in O'Fallon, Illinois, where McHenry's at. University of Massachusetts beat Rhode Island in overtime 4-3. And it was Lake Superior State getting the split, beating Concordia 5-3. That is your intermission scoreboard report. You are watching Michigan Women's Hockey, brought to you by Arbor Broadcasting. As at the first intermission, it is scoreless, 0-0. Let's play a bit of the Michigan Marching Band, and we will be back. Oh, actually, let's talk before we do that. I did have one more graphic I wanted to share earlier. We went through the top 10 for the ACHA. Let's actually take a look at the CCWHA pod standings, as again, we got a chance to quickly chat with Sue McDonald, the commissioner, right before the game, as she was picking up the trophy from Adrian, and none of them wanted to touch it, so Sue actually had to go in and grab it from the locker room. Just a little bit of superstition there. We will have the CCWHA playoffs live on Arbor Broadcasting, as we'll have broadcasts from two different rinks going on, both the Division I and Division II. So taking a look at the East Pod, with 12 wins, no losses, no ties in CCWHA play, Adrian leads with 24 points on the East Pod. Michigan Ann Arbor right back behind them with 13 points on 6 wins, 2 losses, and a tie. Michigan Dearborn right behind Michigan of Ann Arbor with 9 points, 4 wins, 6 losses, 1 tie. Concordia Ann Arbor tied at the bottom with Michigan State and Penn State. All of them have 6 points. Concordia 3 wins, 10 losses. Michigan State that's 2 wins, 6 losses, 2 ties. I should use a better font for that. And Penn State 3 wins, 8 losses for 6 points. Over on the West Pod, Indiana Tech has 24 points there as well. They're ranked in the top 25, just below Adrian, as Indiana Tech has the 12 wins, 1 loss for 24 points. University of Miami right after them. 8 wins, 4 losses for 16 points. Aquinas has 5 wins, 4 losses for 10 points. They're tied with Grand Valley State with 5 wins and 5 losses for 10 points. Lake Superior State coming in at number 5. They have 4 wins, 6 losses for 8 points. And Davenport trying to get on the winning side of the ledger. They have 11 losses so far for no points. That is your CCWHA standings, as we are the proud broadcaster of the CCWHA playoffs, and we're looking forward to that. It is a fantastic time out there. Lots of work, but a fun time. We highly recommend you come out to Flint, cheer on the Michigan team, and watch a lot of amazing women's hockey. Let's play a little bit of the Michigan Marching Band, and we will be back with your second period action. both teams come back out onto the ice. One score, by the way, from today to report. Michigan State did beat Penn State up at Munn Ice Arena 6-2. The only other game today besides this one is Grand Canyon hosting Minnesota. That at 12:30 Mountain Time. So that should have kicked off already or tipped off already. And we do want to thank Michigan President Santono for coming to the game. He's right down beneath us, and it's wonderful to see him here supporting these amazing athletes and this fantastic team of the Michigan women's hockey team as they are here taking on the number 2 ranked Adrian. So number 2 versus number 6. Scoreless first period. Swanson trying to win that back as that puck right at center ice. Matthews digging in there as well. Lindahl comes away with it. Coming down the far boards. Lindahl outside of the far circle, pinned off of the puck. Now Swanson goes, stops underneath the far circle, rims it all the way around. Rubin has it. Michigan on the power play for another minute 15. Shot, that got deflected all the way back. Here comes a breakaway by Stitt, and Ponnet steers it into the far corner. Katie German coming back to get it. Stitt underneath the near circle. That got knocked away. Matthews trying to grab it. That pulled back behind by Pache. And Rubin into the far corner. Matthews trying to get to it underneath the near circle as she loses her stick. Shot! Sticked away by Poneth. Here comes Lindahl down the near boards. 48 seconds left to go in the Michigan power play. Lindahl, the 2 defenders in front of her, gains his own top of the far circle. Drop pass over to Swanson with a shot that deflects wide to the near side. Gathered up by Shaw. Shaw fires it all the way down the ice. 33 seconds left to go in the Michigan power play. Evans gathers it up back behind her own goal. Evans leaves it for Levinson. Now Levinson over to Evans outside the near circle, back to Levinson. Fires it down the far boards, and here comes Michigan. Bringing it ahead was Gargiulo. Now Proctor down the far boards. 12 seconds left to go in the Michigan power play. Banked off of the near boards, right to the Adrian blue line. They fire it back ahead. Here comes Michigan trying to get it back into the Adrian zone. Shaw has it there and feeds it. Evans right at center ice. Ricochets it off the far boards over to Malashevsky. Malashevsky, top of the far circle with his shot. Saved by Burt. Now top of the near circle for Gargiulo as Peterson lost her stick. Shaw into the far corner for the Bulldogs, feeding it ahead. Here comes Adrian. McDonald gets it over to Wood. Wood over center ice. Wood feeds it deep into the far corner as that goes back behind Poneth into the near corner. Wood outside the near circle. Poked away. Here comes Michigan getting it into the neutral zone. McNair gobbles it up at center ice and fires it right back in. Into the far corner, acquired by Gargiulo, trying to knock it away. Is that brought by Wiltshire back in front? Oh, that got deflected right through the crease. Wiltshire gets it to Werner, top of the near circle, into the near circle. Coming down the near boards, that fed ahead by Malashevsky, now tipped by Simmer into the neutral zone. McCarroll brings it right back in, loses an edge into the far corner. Wood has it in along the end boards, trying to feed it out in front. That through the slot. Knocked back in along the near boards. Great defensive play. I believe that was Evans who got her stick on it. All the way back. Goodwin has it in her own zone for Adrian, in along the near boards. That fired ahead by Horney, intercepted at center ice, then fired deep by Wiltshire. Into the far corner, Katie German picks it up, 17:07 left to go. Katie German knocked off with a puck. Trying to fire it out in front was Robinson. Moves it over to Goodwin in the far corner. That deflected by Simmer. Simmer chipping away at it, trying to get it out. Eagleson holds it in at the far corner. Shot there, got knocked down by Katie German. Matthews back behind her own goal, underneath the near circle. Matthews moves it down the near boards. Christensen trying to get it out of the zone. Now that lifted back into the neutral zone. Horney firing it right back into the Michigan zone, but offsides the call as Adrian hadn't cleared the zone, and that will be a face-off in the near face-off circle outside the Michigan zone. 16:37 left to go. Here in the second, scoreless so far from Yost Ice Arena. The number 2 Adrian Bulldogs versus your number 6 Michigan Wolverines. Huge battle between the top 2 teams in the CCWHA East Pod. Coming down the far boards, Adrian feeds it ahead, coming in Piche. Piche into the far corner, Piche back behind the Michigan goal into the near corner. Outside the near circles, here comes Michigan as McCalling, the new freshman who's just on campus, trying to knock that away. Shaw right back behind the goal. That tipped into the far corner. Shaw trying to knock it away from Proctor. The puck over to Peterson, now held in by Izzy German. Izzy German feeds it into the far corner. Shaw backhands it over to Gregan in the near corner of the Adrian zone. Ahead to Peterson, loses it at her own blue line, now feeds it down the near boards. As Goldman trying to knock it away, that lifted all the way back into the Michigan zone. Rubin into the far corner, 15:46 left to go here in the second. Scoreless so far as Izzy German ricochets it off the far boards. McNair back into her own zone, sends along the near boards. Miranda feeds it right into the neutral zone. Here comes McDonald into the slot. That knocked away. Great defensive play by the captain, Mickey Rubin. Now feeding it in the slot. McCurl had that shot blocked. Miranda moves it. High slot, now back to the near point. Miranda trying to feed it into the high slot. That knocked away by Lindahl. Here comes Michigan down the near boards, but kept in by McCurl. Now back through the neutral zone. Lindahl is poked off the puck by Miranda. And taken down the near boards. Horney has it back on the near circle of her own zone. Horney fires it down the far boards. Held in by Swanson, who fires it back deep and along the end boards. 14:55 left to go here in the second. Scoreless so far. Wiltshire cross ice pass over to Wood down the far boards of the neutral zone. That went off of the linesman. Or did that end up in the Adrian bench? I think it actually ended up in the Adrian bench, maybe off of the linesman. Face-off in the far face-off circle right outside the Michigan zone. 14:45 left to go here in the second. Michigan trying to get a big win versus Adrian. It's been a little bit. As Matthews trying to win it back. Goodwin has it at her own blue line, feeding it over to Horney down the near boards. That ricochets, trying to tip it ahead. Backhanded, and here comes Michigan in. Simmer with a shot that got deflected out in front by Goodwin. The puck into the near corner. Wood trying to pull it away. Simmer in there. Matthews feeds it along the boards. Goodwin collects it outside the far circle, fires it all the way down the ice. That should be icing, and it is back into the Michigan zone. 4:17 left to go here in the second. Face-off back into the Adrian zone. Michigan had the only goal that went so far into the net, but it was determined it went in due to a kicking motion. So that goal waved off. Michigan trying to get one back behind Burt for a goal. Katie German's shot couldn't quite get through the slot. That comes down the near boards. Here comes Robinson at center ice. Gets that over to Eagleson. Lost at the Michigan blue line. Now coming down the far boards is Proctor. Proctor trying to chip it deep. Shaw trying to knock it out of the zone. Gargiulo able to hold it in. Now it comes outside of the zone. Michigan has to touch up, but the offside's called before they can. 13:56 left to go here in the second. Scoreless so far here from Yost Ice Arena. Michigan and Adrian tangling, trying to get a big win here as Malashevsky winning the face-off. Another freshman providing huge dividends for the Wolverines. Fantastic in the face-off circle. That puck in along the near boards. Peterson trying to get it out of the zone. Swanson holding it in. Lindahl trying to dig that off the boards. Here comes Lindahl. Lindahl feeding it. Shot! Oh, rising shot just went over the crossbar. The puck in along the end boards. Into the near corner. Peterson brings it down the near boards into the neutral zone. That deflected by Stitt. Stitt has it knocked away back into the neutral zone right in front of the scorer's bench as here comes McCalling. McCalling making some nifty moves over center ice, fires it deep into the Adrian zone as Michigan goes for a line change. That puck into the near corner. Swanson back there trying to make issues for Adrian. Backhands it, that off the side of the net. Simmer trying to get to it. Now Matthews pulling it back. Along the near boards, here comes Adrian, feeds it back into the neutral zone. Picked up there by Rubin. Rubin sends it over to Evans down the far boards. Evans trying to poke it deep into the far corner. That picked up by Shaw. Shaw feeding along the near boards. Here comes Peterson over the blue line. Cross ice pass coming down the far boards now. Trying to fire it in his stick. Fired back deep by Pichet, back behind the Michigan goal as Adrian goes for a line change. 12:37 left to go here in the second. Scoreless so far. Here comes Matthews into the zone. Matthews, drop pass over to Evans. Evans puts it into the near corner and swung around by Werner into the far corner as McNair fires it ahead. Racing ahead, McCurl. Top of the far circle, right through the slot, trying to get it over to Stitt. The puck at the near point. Wiltshire puts it outside the near circle. Now McDonald in the slot. Shot saved by. No, goal. I thought Pontiff had it, and the puck still loose. Able to tip it in was Adrian, as it somehow slipped past behind Pontiff. It looked like she had it, and then Adrian with one last poke. I guess the puck was visible from the far side. I couldn't see it on the near side, and they're able to put it in. 12:07 left to go. Adrian up 1-0. As face-off right and center ice. As Coach Tribbs wants to talk about it with the officials. As she's trying to get an explanation. It's probably not going to change any minds, but she wants to get the explanation, wants to know exactly what the officials saw, and she'll communicate that with her coaching staff. Now the officials come back over and talk. Fleming going over to talk to Coach Tribbs now. As Coach Tribbs again getting an explanation. Michigan coaching staff is Jenna Trebbiano, head coach, Neg Lisson, assistant coach, Carrie Inman, assistant coach, and Joe Upton. As we're about to go, Carter Clark, head coach for Adrian, assistant coach Brian Carney. Goal counts. It's Adrian up 1-0 as Levinson has it at her own blue line. Feeds it ahead. Horny chasing it. 12:01 left to go. As that put in the second period. The puck into the far corner, trying to pull it away. That's sent right back behind. As McCarroll has the goal for Adrian. First goal of the game. The puck back behind. Burt feeds it over to Horny. Horny brings it ahead down the far boards. Malashevsky steals that away from Turnbull, gets it over to Swanson. Swanson has that tipped right back into the neutral zone. Robinson feeds it ahead. Katie German intercepts it. Lindahl trying to pull it ahead and fire it back deep. That gathered up by Eagleson. Loose at center ice, down the near boards. Here comes Katie German, who fires it back deep. The puck right back behind the goal. Levinson into the far corner, trying to get it over to Swanson. Back behind the goal now. Levinson underneath the far circle. Levinson trades it back to the near point for Katie German. Back to Lindahl outside the far circle. That shot off the side of the net, covered up. Lindahl with a good opportunity. Bird able to cover it up. 1-0. Adrian with the lead. 10:54 left to go here in the second period. If you want to reach out to the broadcast, it's hard for us to check during the broadcast, but I'll try my best, as it is arborbroadcasting@gmail.com, or right on our website. Click the send a message. Fired into the near corner. Shaw for Adrian has it. Now bringing ahead Peterson, racing down Pichet down the near boards. Pichet, top of the near circle. That shot into the far corner. Izzy German trying to get to it, stick with it outside the far circle. Now Pichet into the far corner of the Michigan zone. Stitt fires it into the near corner for Pichet. Now trying to get it back to Stitt. That high slot over to Gregan. Gregan banks it off of the near boards and pulled back to the near point and slips back into the neutral zone as Pearson was trying to get it back to Gregan. That shot just goes wide. Stopped there by Poneth. Now Rubin down the near boards, gets it ahead to Evans. Evans over on blue line, gets it over to Matthews. That comes all the way along the far boards to Izzy German. Izzy German retreats back into her own zone, trying to avoid some pressure by Adrian. Izzy German ahead to Evans. Evans feeds it through the center ice. Racing down the far boards is Rubin. Rubin, top of the far circle. Shot covered up. No, Bert. It's loose. It's sitting there loose. They blew the whistle and it was loose. The puck came off. The net might have come off of its moorings. The official lost view of it as they were on the far side, but we could see it loose just to the near side. But if the official loses view, they do blow it dead. Gargiulo in to take the faceoff in the far faceoff circle. Versus McDonald. That comes underneath the near circle. As Goldman putting it in along the end boards. McNair trying to feed it away, then gets it back underneath the near circle. Down the near boards. Coming is Wiltshire. Wiltshire feeds it ahead. Levinson trying to knock that away. Levinson outside the near circle, now into the near corner. Levinson back behind her own goal. Levinson sweeps it down the far boards over to Proctor. Proctor underneath the far circle of her own zone. Now banks it off the near boards. That slips into the neutral zone as here comes Proctor. Proctor has that tipped away into the near corner. Proctor ridden off the puck. That pulled ahead by Adrian down the near boards. Proctor trying to make it difficult. Robinson feeds ahead to Eagleson and lifted back into the near corner of the Michigan zone. 9:03 left to go here in the second. 1-0. Adrian with the lead. The puck. Lindahl has it in along the far boards. Gets it over to Katie German. Now fed ahead by Malashevsky. Lindahl outside the far circle. That tipped away. Stick got the puck first, so no tripping call. Lindahl back behind the goal. Lindahl underneath the near circle. Lindahl gets it back to the near point to McCalling. McCalling's shot. That deflected off of a skate. Here comes Adrian the other direction. 8:35 left to go here in the second. 1-0. Adrian with the lead. Eagleson goes underneath the far circle. Gets tied up. The puck in along the end boards as Katie German trying to knock that away. Now chipping away at it is Malashevsky. That puck out in front. Save by Ponith. 8:18 left to go here in the second. 1-0. Adrian with the lead. Face-off in the near face-off circle. That to Ponith's left. Pichet in to take the face-off. On the other side is Matthews. That puck into the near corner. Rubin fires it back behind Ponith. Coming down the far side. Izzy German trying to get to it. That fired back off the back of the net by Adrian. Gathered up the near boards. Matthews gets it back to Rubin in along the end boards. Now feeding it to Simmer. Down the far boards. Held in by Shaw at the far point. On the near circle. Shot there by Peterson. Deflects outside the far circle. Simmer into the far corner for Izzy German. Izzy German. And pulled away. Here comes Michigan down the far boards as they feed it through the neutral zone. Racing ahead. Gregan has it into the far corner of her own zone. Pressure provided by Evans. That puck into the neutral zone. Racing the other way. Here comes McDonald into the Michigan zone on the near circle. Puck wouldn't settle down through the slot. Saved by Ponith. McDonald underneath the far circle. Matthews trying to knock that away. Stitt right back behind the Michigan goal. Rubin battling her in along the end boards. Now Matthews into the far corner. 7:19 left to go here in the second. 1-0. Adrian with the lead. McNair retreats back inside of her own zone. Feeds it down the near boards. Picked up by Levinson underneath the near circle of her own zone. Trying to avoid McCurrow, who has the lone goal of the game. Outside the far circle, Levinson back to the far point. McCurrow with a shot and a glove. Save by Ponith. One to nothing. Adrian with the lead. 6:57 left to go. That goal was at 12:01 by McCurrow. A puck that looked like Ponith had it, but tipped in by McCurrow. Top that fired by Werner, now knocked away by Goldman. Levinson into the near corner. Now Gargiulo digging, trying to peel it off the boards. So 4 players digging, levering, trying to move it off of that near boards as it's pinned. Still working hard at it. Now comes outside the near circle is Goldman, trying to knock it away. Wiltshire in along the end boards. Levinson pokes that. Oh, that went right through the crease. McNair fires a shot. That goes wide. All the way back to the near point. Werner trying to fire it in deep. 6:20 left to go here in the second. 1-0. Adrian with the lead. Here comes Gargiulo. Ricochets it off the near boards as it goes all the way back to the Adrian zone. Michigan with the line change, with that long change here in the second. McCarthy back behind her own goal, feeds it around the far boards. Lindahl with it there, trying to avoid pressure by Robinson. The puck outside that far circle. Lindahl still digging at it. Robinson grabbed it now on the far circle. Shot save by Ponith, as that was a shot by Eagleson. Slipped right back behind the Michigan goal. Eagleson feeds it into the near corner. That gathered up. Lifted ahead. Horny trying to hold it in. Goldman pokes it, and it rolls on edge all the way back to the Adrian blue line. Quickly ahead by Goodwin into top of the near circle. McCarthy trying to get it out of the zone. That deflected. Levinson, puck wouldn't settle down. Now McCarthy banks it off the far boards. Into the far corner, Pichet in along the end boards, feeding it out in front. Great save by Ponith. The puck On the far circle, Peterson with a shot that deflects wide. Poking it away, Levinson. 5:11 left to go here in the second. Shaw with a shot and a save by Poneth. 5:05 left to go here in the second. 1-0. Adrian with the lead. Face off in the near, face off circle. Pichet in to take the face off. Matthews on the other side for Michigan. Now Greg in, and it slips back in along the near boards of the neutral zone, right in front of the penalty boxes. Gathered up by Pichet at center ice. That move down the far board. Stitt puts it in along the end boards. Peterson with it there, trying to feed it out in front. That deflects top of the far circle for Shaw. Shaw moves over to Gregan, top of the near circle. Now outside the near circle, controlled. That shot by McNair goes all the way outside the far circle. Shaw into the far corner. That pulled back away by Matthews in along the end boards. Trying to feed it out in front was Pichet. Simmer fires cross ice pass in along the near boards. Trying to get to it first is Ceballos. Now here comes Michigan. Matthews gains the zone. Matthews outside of the near circle. Matthews back behind the goal. Backhands it out in front to the slot. Wouldn't settle down. McCalling holding it in. Still loose at the Michigan blue line. Katie German diving to try and get to it. Here comes Wiltshire into the Michigan zone. Wiltshire with a shot. Great block by McCalling. McCalling into the near corner. Puck loose. Matthews backhands it into the far corner of the Michigan zone. 4 minutes left to go here in the second. 1-goal game. Adrian with the lead, 1-0. Michigan down the far boards, gets it into the neutral zone where McNair corrals it. Now Miranda getting ahead to Wiltshire. Picking it up, Michigan gets it back out into the neutral zone. Tipped away, back to the Adrian blue line. Miranda ahead to center ice. Matthews trying to knock that away. Now Katie German retreats into her own zone as Turnbull providing pressure. Robinson pulling that down. Back, top of the far circle. Shot there. Save by Bonnet. Horney took a shot from about 5 feet top of the far circle. 3:25 left to go here in the second. 1-0. Adrian with the lead. Face off in the far face off circle. Eagleson versus Malashevsky. As that puck outside the far circle, Rubin pinned to the boards by Turnbull. That lifted all the way down the ice. Racing ahead with it is Swanson. As the puck back in along the near boards, here comes Robinson. Robinson cross ice pass, gets it over to Turnbull. Lindahl trying to knock it away from Eagleson. And outside the far circle in the Michigan zone, trying to lift it ahead. That deflects. Rubin has it in the far corner. Now along the near boards, here comes Izzy German. Izzy German moves it ahead, trying to get it to Swanson. That knocked away by Stitt. Coming in, Peterson, drop pass, nobody home, gathered up by Malashevsky. Malashevsky over on board, trying to get it to Lindahl. That intercepted by Shaw. Shaw outside the near circle, into the near corner. Shaw and Swanson trying to tip that away. Shaw outside the far circle. Drop pass over to Stitt. That poked away. Great job by Swanson. Gets it all the way back out into the neutral zone. The puck ricochets off the near boards. Brought in by Gregan. Drop pass over to Peterson with a shot and a glove save. That into the near corner. Rubin trying to feed it away. Now Malashevsky on the near circle. She tries to send it down the near boards. 2 minutes, 10 seconds left to go here in the second. 1-0. Adrian with the lead. Shaw at the near point. And loose on the near circle. Now rimmed all the way around the board. Simmer with it, trying to send it ahead into the neutral zone. Shaw intercepts and comes into the Michigan zone. 1 minute, 54 seconds left to go. 1-0. Adrian with the lead here in the second. The puck underneath the far circle. Michigan fires it ahead. Simmer trying to get it out of the zone. McCurrow holds it in. Izzy German now in the far circle of her own zone. She lifts it all the way down the ice. That is going to be icing. In college, you can't, college and professional hockey, you cannot have a line change on an icing call. The team who committed the icing. 1 minute, 36 seconds left to go here in the second. Adrian up 1-0. Face off in the far face off circle. That's Malashevsky, I believe, in versus McDonald. Now they're going to move it over to the near face off circle. As that is going to be Wiltshire taking the face off. as the puck loose on the near circle. Into the near corner. Izzy German sweeps it around the boards. Simmer outside the far circle. Oh, that lifted down the boards, held in at the far point. Here comes Wiltshire outside the far circle. That deflects back to McDonald. Loose in the slot, and there's going to be a whistle hooking call with 1 minute 17 seconds left to go. So that's going to be a call on Michigan. Looks like Swanson into the box with 1 minute 17 seconds left to go. So Swanson in the box for hooking. Michigan will be on the penalty kill for the next 2 minutes, barring anything happening. Face-off in the far, face-off circle. Pichet trying to get to it. Horny trying to hold it in. That slips right back into the neutral zone. Robinson resets at center ice. Robinson comes into the Michigan zone. And knocked away back to the near point. Horny with it there, fires it top of the far circle for Pichet, and knocked away as a good save by Poneth and backhanded by Evans all the way down the ice. 50 seconds left to go here in the second. Power play for Adrian. They have the 1-0 lead, and coming down the far boards, Pichet has it, stops at the far point, backhands it to Horny, top of the far circle, Horny. Trying to fire it. That knocked down by forehand. In along the end boards. Knocked away by Levinson. Peterson sends it back to Pichet at the far point. Robinson, top of the near circle with the shot. That gets deflected. Evans making a move. Evans backhands it down the far boards. All the way down the ice. 16 seconds left to go here in the second. As this may well be one more shot for Adrian. 10 seconds left to go. McDonald on the near circle trying to backhand it. Stitt trying to get to it as that on the near side of the goal covered up by Poneth. 2.9 seconds left to go here in the second. 45 seconds on the power play for the Bulldogs. Adrian up 1-0. Face off in the near face off circle. As big face-off for Gargiulo, and that will do it for the second period. At the end of one, it is 1-0. Adrian with the lead as they had a goal at 12:01. McCarroll put it in as it looked like Poneth got it. McCarroll able to tap it and put it in. Then a hooking call to Michigan in the second at 1:17 and 43 seconds of that hooking call remaining. Well, as we head into the second intermission, let's play a little bit of the Victors. That's our intermission scoreboard report, the Michigan intermission scoreboard report. Taking a look at action back on Sunday as it was water polo. Cal beating Michigan by a score of 13-10. In men's tennis, Michigan beat Brown 4-0. In men's basketball, Michigan with a 4-point win over Minnesota, 60-56. In wrestling, it was a Michigan win, 24-9. In men's tennis, Michigan beat Cleveland State 7-0. In women's gymnastics, Michigan State beat Michigan 197.2 to 196.975. Close game. On Monday, in women's basketball, Michigan lost to Indiana 92-83. Then on Thursday, the 26th, it was women's basketball falling to number 10 Maryland 72-64. In men's basketball, men's lost by 5 points to number 1 Purdue 75-70. On Friday, the 27th, in men's track and field, it was a non-scoring event at the PNC Lenny Lyles Invitational. Women's track and field at that same non-scoring event, the PNC Lenny Lyles Invitational. In wrestling, Michigan versus Ohio State won 23-15. In ice hockey, Michigan men's NCAA ice hockey beat Penn State by a score of 7-3. Yesterday, action, men's tennis beat Cal Poly 4-0. It was women's swimming and diving versus number 17 Wisconsin. Michigan won that one 174-126. In women's swimming and diving, Michigan beat Pitt 22-78. In men's swimming and diving versus number 24 Wisconsin, Michigan won 164-134. In men's swimming and diving versus Pittsburgh, Michigan won 194-106. In women's tennis, Michigan beat Kansas by a score of 4-0. Again, men's and women's track and field were at the non-scoring PNC Lenny Lyles Invitational. Women's gymnastics, it was a win versus number 5 Ohio State, 409.2 to 404. In women's gymnastics versus number 11, so that was men's gymnastics beating number 5 Ohio State. Women's gymnastics also beat number 11 Ohio State, 197.975 to 196.350. In ice hockey, it was Michigan beating Penn State 5-4 in a comeback victory. 4 goals, so the hat trick +1 by Luke Hughes. Taking a look at action today, we'll see if anything was reported in wrestling. Michigan beats Maryland 44-5. In men's basketball, it was a loss to Penn State 83-61, and everything else upcoming. Women's basketball playing at 2 Central Time, so that should have tipped off already. That was over at Minnesota. Let's play a little bit of Michigan Marching Band. You know it's the second intermission, so you know what time it is. I can't turn you loose.
Well, good afternoon and welcome once again to the Michigan Amphitheater. You know, so much of the music we hear today is this pre-programmed electronic disco. You never get a chance to hear master bluesmen practicing their craft. By the year 2006, the music now known as the blues will exist only in the classical record department of your local public library. And so, this afternoon, while we still can, let us welcome from Ann Arbor, Michigan, Gary Lewis and his blues band. Gary Lewis and his blues band.
Michigan heads back out onto the ice, down a goal. As it is, Adrian up 1-0. Michigan going from left to right here in the third period. Adrian getting ready to come onto the ice by the door to our left, and now the Bulldogs, a couple of them head out onto the ice. As Eagleson waiting for the rest of the team, now she heads out. Swanson goes over to the box. Michigan will be on the penalty kill for 43 more seconds here of the third. Here comes the rest of the Bulldogs team as they'll come out onto the ice. Michigan in their home white jerseys with the black lettering Michigan arced across the top, numbers in blue on the front, the back, and on the, right sleeve. They have the famous winged helmets. Adrian with their black jerseys with that mustard color across the shoulders and stripes on the sleeve and across the middle. Black helmets. The Adrian logo in the front, numbers small in the top right-hand corner of their sweaters. Hurt goes down to the right, Paoneth to our left, as it's Malashevsky in to take the face-off versus McDonald. And we are underway here in the third as the puck back into the Adrian zone. 37 seconds left to go in the Adrian power play, as that's brought in by McCurrow, the lone goal scorer. Drops it back to Shaw at the far point. Now over to McDonald, top of the near circle. That through the slot, making a move over onto the far circle. McCurrow into the far corner. Gets it back, high slot for Shaw. Stick save by Paoneth into the near corner. 17 seconds left to go on the penalty kill for Michigan. McDonald, top of the near circle. That shot deflects outside the far circle. Matthews trying to fire it ahead. She gets tangled up now, grabbed by Evans. Evans tangled up now, that fired, still in the zone, and forehand puts it into the far corner. Michigan back to full strength. Swanson back out on the ice. That lifted all the way down into the near corner. That'll be icing as the penalty expired before it was fired down, as Swanson had joined the play already. Face off in the Michigan zone. 19:05 left to go here in the third, as they play a little Mr. Brightside for the fans here. Face off in the near face off circle. Matthews in to take the face off versus Eagleson. Forehand to Matthews right now. They'll move it over into the far face off circle. Matthews versus Eagleson. Snap puck brought back to the far point. Horny with a shot glove save by Paoneth. 19 minutes even left to go here in the third. Face off in the far face off circle. Rubin comes over, gives a nice little fist bump to Paoneth. As that puck top of the far circle, shot that deflects out in front. Good defensive play by Rubin. Rubin feeds it all the way down the ice, chasing it into the near corner is Goodwin. Goodwin feeds it around the boards. That poked by Swanson. Swanson pulling it away from Robinson. Swanson underneath the far circle for Swanson. Into the near corner for Lindahl. Lindahl trying to come away with it. She goes right back behind the Adrian goal. Lindahl into the far corner, outside the far circle. Lindahl spinning with it as it's pinned against the boards. And Malashevsky trying to pull that away as the puck into the far corner. 18:23 left to go here in the third. 1-0. Adrian with the lead. Malashevsky still with the puck pinned against the boards in that far corner as they're trying to lever it away. Comes back to the far point. Izzy German with it there. Izzy German puts it onto the far circle. Malashevsky trying to pull it away. Knocks a Horny's pass, trying to fire it. Shot! That loose and comes outside the near circle. Michigan with an opportunity, held in by Rubin. Rubin with a shot that deflected wide by Eagleson. The puck into the far corner. Bringing it ahead into the neutral zone is Adrian. That deflects right back into the Adrian zone. Racing over to get it is Goldman. The puck comes back Proctor waits for Goldman to come back on side. Now Proctor with the shot, top of the near circle. That goes all the way outside the far circle. Peterson trying to get it out of the zone. Now all the way back into the Michigan end. As Katie German picks it up and along the near boards. Katie German has it outside the near circle. Into the near corner. Gargiulo trying to get it out of the zone. Held in. Wood puts it outside the near circle. Then Wood in along the end boards. Gargiulo feeds it around the boards. As trying to pull it away is Goldman. Now ahead to Proctor. Proctor over center ice. Proctor gains the Adrian zone. Proctor with the shot that's sticked into the near corner by Burt. Miranda moves it over into the far corner. Adrian has it. And coming ahead with it, Pichet moves it back to the Michigan blue line. Katie German has it outside the near circle of her own zone. Katie German puts it down the near boards. That pops up and into the scorer's bench as the folks running the music and everything had to dive for cover. 16:53 left to go here in the third, 1-0. Adrian with the lead. Face-off just outside of the Michigan zone. Matthews in to take the face-off. And puck right at the Michigan blue line. Shaw trying to grab that away as and fired deep by Matthews in along the end boards. As Gregan puts it into the near corner. Simmer trying to get it away. Now coming down the near boards is McDonald for Adrian. Gains the Michigan zone. McDonald outside the near circle into the near corner. Matthews feeds it all the way around. Outside the far circle trying to tip it. Here comes Evans. Evans over the neutral zone. Down the far boards. Evans using her body to protect the puck. That poked away. Here comes Gregan the other direction. Over her own blue line. Knocked off of the near boards. Now fired ahead. Shaw intercepts it at center ice and puts it back deep into the Michigan zone. Levinson back behind her own goal. Puts it around the near boards. Simmer trying to pull it ahead. That held in at the near point by Robinson. Back into the near corner. 15:49 left to go. Here in the third, 1-0. Adrian with the lead. Gargiulo puts it into center ice. Knocked away by Goodwin, who retreats to the slot in her own zone. Goodman down the near board. Swanson trying to knock it away. Robinson has that tipped. Here comes Lindahl. Lindahl into the high slot. Poked away. Michigan with it as Swanson has it deflected into the near corner. Back to Swanson outside the near circle trying to get away from Turnbull. Backhanded onto the near circle. That comes outside the near circle controlled by Turnbull, who backhands it into the neutral zone. Izzy German at her own blue line. Feeds it to Swanson down the far board. Swanson trying to fire it in deep. That knocked back into the neutral zone. Izzy German puts it into the Adrian zone. Michigan gets a line change. Ahead down the near boards. Here comes Eagleson, top of the near circle. Shot wouldn't settle down for her off the side of the net. And pulled back away by Rubin underneath the far circle. Back to the blue line as that is going to be a delayed offsides. Adrian touches up as it was fired in before everyone had cleared the zone. That comes back out into the neutral zone. As Adrian puts it down the far boards. Izzy German puts it right back into the neutral zone. Grabbed by Rubin. Rubin banks it off the near boards, racing ahead. Here comes Proctor. That's going to be on the net and covered up by Burt. 14:26 left to go here in the third. 1-0. Adrian with the lead. 14:26 left to go here in the third. Puck into the near corner. Gregan feeds it around into the far corner. Shaw lifts it over to Peterson. Peterson ahead to Pichet over center ice. Pichet gains the zone outside the far circle. Pichet stops there. Moves it back, top of the far circle for Gregan. That gets deflected. Here comes Michigan on a 2-on-1. Here comes Simmer. Simmer comes in. Simmer makes a backhanded shot and a save. Oh, an excellent opportunity. It just couldn't find its way to the back of the net. Simmer with a shot that outside of the near circle. Fed and in along the far boards. McCalling trying to chip that back away as it comes back deep into the Michigan zone. Katie German back behind her own goal, coming down the near boards. Ahead to Simmer. Now fired the other direction by Adrian. McCalling trying to get it out of the zone, now coming in. Wiltshire with a shot that just missed the post to the far side. Here comes Swanson ahead over her own blue line. And knocks off of the near boards, trying to tip it. Was Lindahl coming back. Here comes McCurrow. Puck wouldn't settle down for her as she puts it back into the far corner. Picking it up, that shot saved by Poneth outside the near circle. Lindahl trying to fire it ahead. The puck held in at the near point. Now, grabbed by Katie German. She backhands it, trying to get it out. Sticked into the far corner off of a McCurrow shot. As that puck held in at the far point. Now it comes out into the neutral zone. Here comes Lindahl. Lindahl making her way down the near boards, feeds it deep into the Adrian zone as she goes off for a line change. Miranda back behind her own goal, gets it over to McNair in the far corner. That puck outside the far circle. Robinson trying to get it out. Proctor holds it in. Down the far circle coming in. Shot. Oh, that just deflected outside the near circle. Loose. Eagleson trying to get to it. And sent back into the neutral zone where forehand has it. Sweeps it over and along the far boards, and that fired ahead by Levinson. Loose. Trying to pull it in, Michigan, right at the far point. That drifts into the far circle. Miranda with it there. Miranda knocks it down the far boards, held in by Levinson, who fires it. That stick by Burt, right back behind her own goal. The puck into the near corner. Proctor trying to chase it. That grab, Gargiulo trying to fire it deep. And intercepted by Eagleson right on the near circle. That's going to be a cross check at 12:02. Into the box goes Miranda. So Michigan with the power play here in the third, looking for the game-tying goal. Adrian trying to extend the lead. As that puck loose at center ice. Matthews trying to chip it away into the near corner. Now Swanson comes right back behind the Adrian goal. Fires it. Saved by Burt. Swanson outside the near circle. Back to the near point for Katie German. Back into the near corner for Swanson. Swanson with the shot. That got deflected out in front. Lindahl into the near corner. Back behind the goal. Lindahl underneath the far circle. Lindahl moves it back to the far point to Rubin. Now Lindahl outside the far circle. And Katie German top of the near circle. Katie German with the shot. That got deflected out in front. I believe that was Wood who had it. Now coming through the slot. Here comes Lindahl. Lindahl with a shot. Oh, and Burt with the save. The puck into the far corner. Michigan with some great opportunities as that moved back high. Stop for Katie German. Over top of the far circle for Rubin. Rubin making a move, trying to avoid pressure, sends it in along the end board. Swanson with it into the near corner. Swanson outside the near circle. Swanson, top of the near circle for Lindahl. Now Matthews chases it back behind the goal. Battle for it back behind Matthews underneath the far circle. Matthews looking to try and fire it out in front. Now she moves it in along the end boards to Swanson. 47 seconds left to go through the slot. Oh, wouldn't settle down. Here comes Katie German. That puck just couldn't get everything on it. Matthews into the near corner. Trying to avoid Horny. Matthews back behind the goal. Puts it on the far circle. Rubin with a shot. That comes outside the near circle. 30 seconds left to go in the Michigan power play. Penalty upcoming. As into the box goes Swanson. At 10:30, I did not see the call. I believe it was interference. As they'll be 4-on-4 for 28 seconds. Then it'll be an Adrian power play for 1 minute 32 seconds. Face off. Kapanis left in the far face-off circle. Gargiulo trying to get it away from Wiltshire. That puck back behind the Michigan goal. As into the far corner, Levinson trying to knock it away. McDonald top of the far circle. Shot. Poneth with the save. That pull back behind. Back to the near point to Shaw. Shaw moves it high slot for McDonald. That got deflected. Good job getting in the way of it was Gargiulo. Puck back to the near point. Now Wiltshire comes high slot, moves it over top of the far circle for McCurrow. That shot just goes wide. Adrian back to full strength. They now have a power play. The puck back behind. Outside the far circle, McDonald moves it. That banked off of the near boards. Control back to the near point. McDonald there. Moves it to Shaw. High slot. Now over to McCurrow on the far circle. Shot saved by Poneth. 9:41 left to go here in the third. 1 minute 11 seconds left to go on the Michigan penalty kill. Adrian with the 1-goal lead. Michigan wants to kill off this penalty. Surprisingly, by the way, Adrian has given up same number of shorthanded goals as Michigan, too. Love to see one right here. That blocked in the slot. Trying to pull it away, Katie German back to the near point. Horny with it. Over into the far point by Goodwin. Now Horny backhands it outside the near circle. The puck over to Pichet. Now high slot for Horny. Horny with a slap shot, getting in front of it and blocking it. Great job by Simmer. That puck through and moved ahead into the slot. Now onto the near circle. Into the near corner. Pichet sends it back around. 35 seconds left to go. In the power play is Potnith able to cover it up. 9:04 left to go here in the third. 1-0. Adrian with the lead. Face off to Potnith's right in the near face-off circle. 34 seconds left to go in the Adrian power play. Matthews versus McDonald in the near circle. That's sent back. Shaw moves it high slot, top of the far circle. Now Shaw gets it back. Shot. Ooh, that deflects over to the near side. McDonald retreats into the near corner, coming back behind the Michigan goal. That knocked by Potnith, trying to knock it away. Swept all the way back to the near point. Shaw can't hold it in. Now come all the way back into the Adrian zone. 13 seconds left to go in the Adrian power play. Simmer back there, trying to knock it away, providing pressure, pinning it against the boards. 4 seconds left in the power play to Adrian. 1 second, Michigan back to full strength. That puck, Swanson pulls it down, feeds it ahead, back into the Adrian zone. 8:23 left to go here in the third. Adrian up 1-0. Back to the far point. Lindahl trying to chip it back deep, the puck outside the far circle. Now Shaw fires it into the neutral zone. Bringing it ahead, Michigan gains the zone. Swanson, top of the near circle. Puck drop pass over to Malashevsky. Now trying to poke it deep is Katie German. Over to Lindahl into the near corner. Lindahl trying to move it right back behind the goal into the far corner. As that is brought ahead by Miranda through the neutral zone. Robinson has that poked away right in front of the Michigan bench. Fired deep into the Michigan zone. Stopped by Potnith back behind her own goal. Gathered up down the near boards is McCarthy, feeds it. That'll slip back into the Adrian zone. Werner has it in the near corner. Werner back behind her own goal. On the far circle, Werner coming ahead with it. Out into the neutral zone, Proctor intercepts. Over to Rubin. Rubin gains his own top of the near circle. Rubin with a shot. Oh, Burr with the save. Rubin puts it outside the far circle. That pulled ahead. Here comes Adrian as they get it over to Stick. Back, Proctor intercepts at center ice. Pulled the other direction by Peterson. Moved into the Adrian zone, but collected there by the Bulldogs. Off of the near boards. Goodwin gets it to the center ice. Peterson gains the Michigan zone. Peterson stops top of the near circle, moves it over to Pichet out in front. As good job by Gargiulo to sweep it into the far corner. Now Evans moves it back down the ice. 6:44 left to go here in the third. 1-0. Adrian with the lead. The puck right at center ice. Coming ahead with it. Here comes Pichet. Drop pass over to McCurl. McCurl moves it back to the far point. Now on the far circle. McCurl top of the far circle. Now over top of the near circle for Shaw with a shot. And puck saved by Potnith. 6:23 left to go here in the third. Adrian up 1-0. Michigan looking for the equalizer. Would love to tie this up and see what happens after that. Shaw has it at the near point. Shaw deflected into the near corner as Katie German trying to knock it along the near boards and bring it ahead. That goes off the far boards. Christensen chasing it back. Gregan has it top of the near or far circle in her own zone. Moves it to Shaw in the near corner. That rimmed all the way around. Over to Wiltshire outside the far circle. Wiltshire over her own blue line. Rockets it off the near boards over to McDonald. That loose on the near circle as McCalling comes down the far boards. McCalling gets it back into the neutral zone. Shaw trying to fire it right back in. The puck back behind Potnith, racing to get it as Turnbull. That fired around the far boards. Christensen trying to knock it around the Adrian defender. And McCalling right back behind the Michigan goal. That intercepted by Robinson, loose on the near circle. McCalling Gets it to the blue line. McNair trying to hold it in. Now it comes back into the Adrian zone. Miranda picks it up there. 5:20 left to go here in the third. 1-0. Adrian with the lead. The puck coming down the near boards. Here comes Turnbull for Adrian. Turnbull high slot. That deflects into the far corner. Levinson trying to get it around Turnbull. That deflected. Levinson goes back behind her own goal into the near corner. The puck outside the near circle, over to Goodwin at the near point. That slips back into the neutral zone, but fired back deep into the Michigan net. 4:53 left to go here in the third. The puck ahead down the near boards. Lindahl fires that back deep into the Adrian zone. Goodwin right back behind her own goal. Over to Stitt outside the near circle. Ahead to Peterson. Michigan trying to hold it in. Proctor outside into the neutral zone. Lets everyone touch up, then comes in, top of the far circle. Shot there, Burt with the save. Loose on the near circle as Michigan got a line change in. The puck right in front of the Adrian bench in the neutral zone. Levinson fires it back deep. 4:22 left to go. Burt covers it up. 4:19 now left in the third. 1-0. Adrian with the lead. Michigan with the face-off in the Adrian zone. Love to get that equalizer. Gargiulo in to take the face-off versus McDonald in far face-off corner. That high slot over to Rubin. That wouldn't settle down, but Rubin a good job to pull it away from McCurl. Fired back deep by Proctor as that rims all the way into the far corner. Gargiulo outside the far circle trying to pull that away. Gregan into the far corner now. Shaw trying to get it out of the zone, held in by Katie German. That is going to be an illegal body check as Katie German knocked off her feet. And at 3:55, Michigan will get a power play as into the box with an illegal body check goes McDonald. Michigan with the extra player, 5-on-4. Don't have the extra player. Adrian has one less players, but that's okay. Michigan on the power play, trying to get a big power play goal here to tie it up. Adrian up 1-0. Shaw has it into the near corner, lifts it back to the near point. Katie German holds it in there. So far, Adrian has been dynamic on the penalty kill. That fired into the far corner. Outside the far circle is Rubin. Rubin goes back behind, gets it over to Swanson outside the far circle. Cycling it back into near corner. Matthews trying to get to it. That lifted all the way down the ice. 1 minute, 34 seconds left to go. As Poneth will cover it up as pressure coming by Robinson. So 1:31 left to go in the power play for Michigan. 3:26 left to go here in the third. A tight 1-0 game. It was 3-1 when these two teams played second game of the season. I believe it was Lindahl with a penalty shot that actually had Michigan's lone goal. Good win. Shot from the top of the near circle into the near corner. That pulled back behind by Pichet. Julo trying to knock it away. That puck outside the far circle. Now back to the far point for Horny. Horny sends it around the board. Stitt has it underneath the near circle for Adrian. Levinson trying to pull that away. Levinson back behind her own goal, now underneath the far circle. 1 minute, 9 seconds left to go in the Michigan power play. Proctor down the near boards, feeds it. Proctor gets it outside the near circle. Shot that got deflected off of Horny. Horny puts a bouncing puck into the far corner. That lifted as Evans takes it off of a skate outside the far circle. Gargiulo underneath the far circle, goes back behind. Now Proctor outside the far circle. Back to the far point to Levinson with the shot. That got deflected off of a defender and brought back right to the near point. Stitt trying to get it out into the neutral zone. Pichet now fires it all the way down the ice. 34 seconds left to go in the Michigan power play. There is a Michigan player hurt. Evans slow to get up. Penalty upcoming to Adrian as Michigan bringing it ahead. 26 seconds left to go on the power play. That tipped and it'll go all the way back. Delayed penalty as Evans hopefully looks like she's all right, but into the box goes Stitt at 2:14. Looking for a looking for a call, as I believe Michigan called the timeout, as they have the 2-minute penalty up there. So Michigan will have a 5-on-3 for 19 seconds. And then they will have the remainder of a 5-on-4. If I can do some quick math, I know it's hard. 1 minute and 41 seconds. So Michigan called the timeout. They want to make the best of this, try and make something happen with the two, as they'll have two more players than Adrian, and they may well at this point. Coach Tribbiano trying to get this tied up, might well pull Poneth. Now, it is dangerous when you're on the power play because the other team can clear the ice, clear the puck without icing being called, so they can just take a whack at the empty net. But it is an option that Coach Tribbs has, as she's got the team around her, calling a play. Adrian has their three players out there. That is McNair, McCurrow, and Shaw. So two defenders and a forward. Face-off will be to the right of Burt in the far face-off circle. Here comes Michigan. Poneth is still at the bench talking to Coach. And Coach Tribbs will pull Poneth for the extra attacker. 6-on-3 for 19 seconds down on this offensive end. Lindahl sends it to Katie German. Katie German moves it on the far circle. Puck skips back into the far corner for Rubin. Rubin puts it into the slot over for Lindahl. Lindahl into the near corner, trying to center it up. And it's sent back to Katie German at the near point. Katie German outside the near circle, over to Matthews. Now one player released from the penalty box. It's a 5-on-4 with the goalie being pulled, as that puck will come all the way back into the Michigan zone. Levinson trying to avoid McDonald as the puck sent in along the far boards and out into the neutral zone. Now brought back into the Michigan end. Trying to feed it ahead. Swanson at her own blue line. Swanson brings it ahead. 1 minute, 16 seconds left in the Michigan power play. Swanson into the near corner. Still an empty net to our left. In the slot shot. Oh, that just deflected wide. Still battling for it. Swanson trying to pull it away. The puck back behind the goal. Now into the near corner. And fired into the slot. Grab. Here comes Rubin. Rubin with a backhanded shot. Saved by Burt. Matthews with a shot. And that puck covered up. Michigan with a couple excellent cracks at it. They're going to keep Poneth on the bench. Timeout call by Adrian as they want to talk it over. Well, let's get you fired up and let's play a quick bit of the Victors and try and get a big Michigan goal here, as they have the goalie pulled and the extra attacker on the power play. So it's a 6-on-4 in the offensive zone. One minute, 6 seconds left to go. Here in the third, 52 seconds left in the Michigan power play. They have the goalie pulled, so it's a 6-on-4 in the offensive zone. Gargiulo in to take the face-off. Huge face-off here. Matthews, Swanson, Gargiulo, Katie German, as that comes back to the far point to Levinson. Levins feeds it into the far corner. Horny has it there. 1 minute left to go as the puck in along the far boards. Pichet trying to pull it away, and Pichet fires it. That up into the benches as they're trying to figure out if that is going to come into and stay in the Adrian zone. Depends on where they fired it from. I believe it was fired from the Adrian zone, but the officials are going to talk it over. It was really close. Gargiulo pleading her case. And they're going to have it in the face-off circle in the neutral zone just outside of the Adrian zone. the officials talk things over. Gargiulo in to take the face-off versus Pichet with 52.9 seconds left to go. Pile up, Lindahl trying to pull it away. Here comes Gargiulo. Gargiulo into the zone, fires it in along the M boards. 43 seconds left to go. That back to the near point, held in by Katie German outside the near circle. Swanson with it there, bouncing puck. That comes back to Katie German at the near point. Katie German fires it into the slot. Here comes Lindahl. Oh, that swept outside the near circle. 13 seconds left to go in the Michigan power play. Still an empty net to our left. Fires it into the slot. Shot by Lindahl. And saved by Burton. And that lifted all the way down the ice as thought the penalty was over before it came down. Should have been icing, but quickly ahead. Swanson has it right in front of the scorer's bench. 1 second, and that will do it. So Adrian comes away with the win, but a valiant attempt by Michigan. A one-goal game that saw Michigan have a goal waved off due to a kicking motion. And as Michigan will look for and hope to get another matchup versus Adrian in the CCWHA playoffs, as they'll love to try and get the win here today. Adrian with the 1-0 lead for my camera person, Christina Wiseman. My name is Mark Wiseman. Thank you very much. We will be back next Saturday from Grand Valley State. I believe that's Griff's over in Georgetown. We'll have that game for you, and then next Sunday, the next home game versus Grand Valley State. Please come out and support your Michigan Wolverines. And now the yellow and the blue. Thank you and good night.